my dog here, Solomon, is one of the most impatient dogs on the planet, especially when I'm making him food. Man, he just starts crying and whining. He knows when I'm warming it up. He knows when I'm about to bring it out for him. And he just basically just cries and whines at me, like, Dad, just give it to me. Give it to me, Dad. Please give me my food. And because I cook him human food, it's hot. It's hot when it's ready. So I look at him and I'm like, dude, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. You're not gonna be able to enjoy it. You're gonna burn yourself. You're gonna hurt yourself if I give it to you right now. And funny enough, I found myself waiting recently for a new job, a better opportunity, more blessings. And I would ask God, why are you making me wait? Because waiting sucks. Waiting really sucks. Especially in a world where we can just get everything we want instantly. Instant gratification. It's a really big problem. So yeah, I was asking God, why are you making me wait so long for these things that you promised me? And lo and behold, he was teaching me something with my own dog. Because if I would have given him his food right away when it wasn't ready, he wouldn't have been able to enjoy it. And try explaining that to a dog. Even though we have a relationship that is honestly very unique and a relationship I haven't had with most people, he doesn't even understand me. He might understand my character, but he doesn't understand the things that I'm saying to him. So, standing there in that kitchen, making his food, making him wait, hearing him whine and cry and pout, I realized how hypocritical I was being. Because I tell him, just wait. It's gonna be so good. Just wait, just wait. But he didn't understand. And right there, God was teaching me something about myself. He said, look how you tell your dog to wait for his sustenance, yet you also pout and shout and cry when I don't give you what you want right away. And even though I understand that, it doesn't change the fact that I hate waiting. It doesn't change that fact. But man, that's why I love dogs. They teach us so much about ourselves. I got him 2 years into college. He popped up out of nowhere. He ran up to me while I was walking one of my clients' dogs. Honestly scared me to death because I thought he was a vicious pit bull roaming the streets, but he was actually my best friend. And now I can't imagine living life without him. It's truly a blessing. But yeah, as Christians, we really do not like waiting, and that's a big part of the Bible. about a lot of the stories in the Bible is how much people had to wait. You know, the Israelites roamed the wilderness for 40 years. And they didn't even have to wait that long. It was their fault that they waited that long, because they started to act in disobedience. They started disobeying God and his commands and his teachings. They grew impatient and they started grumbling. They started saying, man, slavery in Egypt was better than what we're going through right now, because at least we had food, at least we had these things. And you know, we do the same thing when we're waiting on the Lord to give us those blessings, and we're waiting we can't wait for those blessings while disobeying God, living in sin. So everything your body wants to do, your flesh wants to do, is go back to the things that were familiar. Right? But that's why we just have to trust God. And that's why he has to just trust me. He's got to know that I know things that he doesn't understand. You know, the word says that our thoughts are not like God's thoughts, and our ways are not like his. And, you know, it makes sense, because he's literally the creator of the universe. So who are we to question him when we don't get our way? You know, and I'm talking to myself here, most of all, because I am the most impatient human being on the planet. I want everything right away. And maybe that comes from my humble beginnings. I didn't always have everything I needed or wanted. So as I started to progress in life and I got my own money and my own things, I had to learn self-control. And honestly, I don't think I ever really did, but rather I allowed God to change me in that way. I started to trust him more. You know, I like the saying that the Bible is not about self-improvement. You know, God's not interested in self-improvement. He's interested in meekness, being vulnerable to the Lord, allowing him to change you when you are weak. And the most changes I've seen in my life were when I realized that, and I accepted that, and I lived that. And to this day, when I have friends who come up to me expressing their discomfort with their addictions, their behaviors, their patterns, you know, I tell them, don't rely on your own strength to change yourself, because ultimately, when you rely on your own understanding, your own strength, your own abilities, you let yourself down time and time and time again. But when you rely on God, the all-powerful, all-knowing, eternal God, who can go against you? What battle could you lose? Because those battles belong to the Lord and not you. You're just along for the ride. It's truly something. And there's nothing wrong with trying to strengthen yourself and, going to the gym and getting bigger muscles or reading more to increase your intellect. But ultimately, for a lot of people, it can lead to burnout. And, it makes me think of David Goggins. He's built different, as they would say. And he often criticizes people for being weak, not doing the things that he does. He said, if I did it, you can do it. But that goes against everything that's taught in the Word of God. Where it says, in weakness we find our strength. I must decrease so that the Lord can increase. They who keep their life will lose it, and they who lose their life will gain it. And it's genius. It goes against everything that this world teaches us, and that's how you know that book is truly something different. It goes against everything our human desires and our natural ways of thinking. It goes against all of it. And yes, the book was written by men, but I find that pretty concrete evidence that it was truly inspired by the divine.